Morning, Bill.
Good morning, Mark. And today we are in a really interesting house that was, I looked it up, built in 1867.
Yeah.
And it's a bluestone farmhouse, and it was part of a huge estate back in the 1800s. In fact, 4,000 acres,
Yes.
according to your website. So a little bit different setting today, Mark, which is good. But boy, did you survive the storms.
It was
Right.
horrendous, and a lot of businesses suffered a bit with that
Well,
storm crashing through and flooding places out.
I
And
drove past the Geelong Gun Club a couple of days ago, and it's just completely destroyed. And I've got mates who have got farms in and around Geelong, and they can't believe how many trees have actually been destroyed. It's just they say a 1 in a 50-year event. Probably more likely a 1 in a 100-year event, I think.
yeah, but there'll be more of them.
Oh, that's right. It'll happen again.
So Bill,
Yeah.
today we're sitting out at the Pets Country Club out at Lara, waiting to chat to Lauren Hill, and for support is Ash, sitting at the other end of the table. Winners of the Geelong Business Excellence Awards for customer service. And quietly in the background, if you listen carefully, you can hear dogs barking, which is, I think, very fitting, given that's where we are and that's what we're doing. So welcome, Lauren.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
So, Bill, kick off.
Well, first of all, let's give a quick description of this business.
Yeah, so as it said, we are a pets country club. We accommodate pets, dogs, cats, small animals, rabbits, birds occasionally, all sorts of things really, when humans can't. So there might be various reasons. They're on holidays primarily. We have people that are renovating and fences are getting revamped, people that are maybe in hospital that need their care for their animals.
Yeah, a much needed service.
Yeah.
I know, because my daughter, of course, I'm their country club for their greyhound when they go away.
Yeah.
But let's start off, and we'll start off by asking our usual question: where did you go to primary school?
Oh, wonderful. So we are in Lara here. And I was born in the western suburbs in Williamstown Hospital, so I started over there, but then the majority of my primary years was at St Anthony's Primary School just down the road. So, yeah.
And Ash was probably just... Who's the older one of the two?
I am, by
Right.
3.5 years.
Right, so little sister tagged along.
She did, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from primary school to where?
We both then went on to Clonard College and spent our years there. So, yeah, lots of local roots.
That's right.
So while you were at school and high school,
Yep.
were you working here?
Yeah, like obviously being a family business, we lived, every single day, and we are situated. This house is right on the property, right within the business. We're literally surrounded by everything. So we were exposed to the work and what happened on a day-to-day basis from a very young age. School holidays definitely spent cleaning the cattery and doing some of the more lighter duties, and then working our way up over the years into more of the dogs and doing all of that side of things before being exposed to the front of house stuff as well. So, yeah.
So while you were at high school, did you have any other jobs?
No, I was an equestrian as well. So if it wasn't riding horses, then it was definitely something to do with family business.
And the equestrian centre right across the road, isn't it?
Exactly,
Is
yeah.
that right?
Pony Club right across
Right.
the road. So I was a member there as well for many years, and then came back and taught and judged. Yeah, so heavily involved with the sport. And
Okay, well, following on from that, what was your first real job that someone actually gave you a real pay packet for?
Well, I guess this one, definitely. So, yeah, once you're on the books, so there was an expectation. We were certainly treated the same as any other team member. We were expected, there was no shortcuts, no leeway just because we were family. We were expected
Sometimes
to
it's
do
a harder task,
Well,
isn't it?
that's it.
Right.
The expectations are there. And also, Mum and Dad have always prioritised that if we're going to have these animals, even like with my horse and other pets that we owned ourselves, they had to come first. So before school, it was always looking after their needs, and that was instilled with both of us from a very early age. So,
And while you were at high school, did you have any idea what you wanted to be?
yeah, I wanted to be a vet. Initially.
Yep.
And then I did some work experience with Dr. Trevor Brown, who's still the mobile vet in Geelong, and felt a bit queasy and thought that maybe that wasn't for me. The sciences, the medical side wasn't exactly, don't think I had the stomach for it. But yeah, for a long time, that was my passion. And I did well with those types of subjects. So we did do those subjects all through high school, but then moved towards a commerce degree at Deakin University after.
What made you think of that?
Again, mum and dad influences. So he was an industrial chemist, so he had that science background. So that was a natural sort of fit at one stage for me. But then mum is that business person. So she worked for the Australian Tax Office and came from, more analytical financial perspective. So that was also a good fit for what I've been exposed to and what I had a natural affinity with as well.
So once you finished your degree, where did you do that?
At Deakin.
At Deakin?
Yep.
So another Deakin graduate, Bill?
Well, that's funny about that. We live in Geelong, and
Yeah.
but it's a great university, and it's a great regional university.
Yeah.
Just as with a couple of people we've interviewed, Mark, have done their MBA at Federation in Ballarat, and that's a good school as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. So your first job away from the family business, what was that?
Yeah, so I guess with my university studies and my major I did in finance and sports management, I moved towards the elite sport sector. I got involved with some volunteering with the Victorian Olympic Committee, and then that gave me the opportunity to then go to the 2012 London Olympics.
Oh, wow.
So
Very good.
I worked with the Australian Olympic Committee there, which was probably, I guess, my first. I did a lot of contracting with sport. You do a lot of contracting, so did the Australian Youth Olympics in Sydney, but I was able to move around a lot and travel a little bit and see that the games in London was amazing, and working with the Australian Olympic team was amazing as well, and I think gave me a lot of different skills with team and high performance teams and those 1%ers and making a difference.
I see you had a bit of experience at Carlton and Hawthorn. So
That's true,
are you a Carlton or Hawthorn supporter?
Absolute Carlton, yes.
In Geelong.
Yeah.
Well, similar colours.
Similar.
Yeah, that's right.
The right colour's the wrong team, but that's mum's influence again. So she's heavily Carlton based. She's actually currently the president of the Carltonians.
Oh, okay.
She's chairperson there. So very heavily involved.
You'd
with
be excommunicated then if you went with Geelong.
Exactly. Yeah. And she's supported them forever. So we're heavily involved, and as a business, we're heavily involved with the club as well.
So that career you were taking in sports and events and etc. What flipped you then back to here? What was it? Because I noticed you did Sport Australia. You a couple of years there, or quite a few years there, and in between you were here too. So what was the story there?
So again, my progression with elite sport. I guess my first real proper job, other than the contracts and stuff that you get through the sporting industry, would have been with Sport Australia Hall of Fame. It was a really small team with Tanya Sullivan and Bob Lay, and they were fabulous mentors, and the three of us just produced some massive, massive things. We had a huge, wonderful scholarship program and an amazing awards ceremony. So that organisation recognised past athletes, but also administrators, coaches, the whole gamut of the best in Australian sport. And then it just really came back to Mum and Dad were being approached by various conglomerates of to sell this business. At the time as well, Mum and Dad had created another business in Port Melbourne from nothing, from an idea. And they were running that, and Ashley was up there, my sister, running that with mostly Mum. And yeah, they were wondering, they were getting 50s plus and wondering what their progression and succession plan looked like.
The great family business dilemma with succession planning.
Yeah.
And that's something, an area as Mark and I do some work of family business, and I specialise in succession, and it's always the worst cases are generally those that haven't, like you have, moved out and seen the other side of the world. So just working on that, what do you think are the key lessons that you've brought back to the family business by those other lived experiences you've had, particularly in sports management and all those stuff?
Yeah.
So what is there any one thing that stands out that you believe you can bring back to this family?
I think, given my role here, so I am CEO, but again, it's very collaborative within the family. We're all sounding boards. We all work very closely together. All new ideas are, brainstormed across the kitchen table.
Is this the board table
Pretty much,
which is in your house?
Exactly. Yeah, this table's seen all the ideas come to life. So I think that just given. I think because I have worked in elite sports, so I've seen my role models and my mentors have always been really highly successful humans, whether whatever discipline it might be in, they've succeeded in their chosen field, and that's what I've always been exposed to. And that even goes right down to our own parents, whatever they've put their minds to, they've been very, very successful with. So I think absolutely outside influences, but also internally that's come in, and I think we lead our team that way. We lead by example. We're happy to get in and do the work and show them how to do the work. We will jump in reception. We'll jump on the phones. We will be there with them, guiding them and like I said, leading by example of what we want.
How many employees do you have?
It fluctuates mostly because our busy times are seasonal, so school holidays, lots of casual contracts.
FTEs, how would
probably I'd say maybe just under 10.
Yeah, fair enough. Good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
We're a fairly medium-sized business, so at capacity we have about 200 pets here. So I say medium in terms of other facilities in the area.
You're a larger small business.
Yeah.
That's what you are.
It's good. It's good. So when was the decision made? Right, sports, thank you. I'm back here. And what was that tipping point for you, as I call it, or sliding door moment, or what?
I think it was just, other buyers circling. With Mum and Dad, they went through some due diligence. They listened to some people, went through some processes with some external buyers, what it would look like to sell up. I think me and my husband sat down and we said, look, personally for our family, I think Mum and Dad are too young to retire. I think they'll go bored. They were only in their 50s. And we said, you're not going to be able to work for someone else, but you're not too young to retire now. So we discussed it personally, the two of us, and I said, well, I'm happy to come into the family business. Ashley was already doing amazing things in Port Melbourne with Mum, and we could also see that this affords us a lovely lifestyle. We have the flexibility of, it's almost 7 days a week, every day of the year, but you can, sort of come and go a little bit more. You're not dictated by someone else's roster or hours. So it was, I put my resignation in at Sport Australia Hall of Fame, and however, that being said, I came back and did another, 5 years of annual dinners with them or something, because again, I just have these beautiful, beautiful relationship with that organisation. It was an organisation that I truly believed in as well. So again, sports still got my heart, and I love events, and I'm a planner and I love organising, but I also love what I'm doing here.
So you haven't looked at combining that and doing an event here?
Well, it's definitely something that we talk about a lot. With
Yep.
there's lots of dog party
There's lots of 'em.
opportunities. We have some pretty unique features here on this property. So our splash pad,
Yep.
you would have seen when you drove in. That's something that no one else has really got. We could definitely do another revenue stream with parties and events. It's all just about time and
Yeah. Something for the future.
And on that, Mark, we should encourage people to visit the website too, because there's lots of stuff on there,
yeah, no,
and
thank you.
you'll get a much better idea of the facilities.
Yeah.
But what's impressive, Lauren, is that family discussion is brilliant. That lots of families get to a point where the only time they talk succession is when one of the parents dies, and then everybody sits there and goes, "Oh my God, now what do we do?"
Yeah, in a
So
reactive way.
In a reactive way, and then other people come out of the family, and then it becomes a bun fight, doesn't it, Bill? As you well know, a big bun fight.
Yeah, I'd love to tell some of my stories, but
You're bound to
I think
some.
I'd be, well, I'm bound for confidentiality, but I think I'd have my backside sued.
But it's fantastic that your parents have had a think about it, and then are they right out of the business now, or are they just there in the
They're-
background coaching and helping?
Absolutely, yeah, on the peripheral. Like I said, everything's pretty collaborative around here. I'm about 30 weeks pregnant with our second child, so I'll be having to have some time off in the not too distant future, but and then your mum will take over some of that more financial role that I do, that strategic planning, the reports, the boring stuff. Ashley's got the day-to-day covered, and then Dad is still Dad, where we go, oh, this tap's broken, come and fix it.
So he knows where the hammer and screwdriver is that right?
Yeah.
So it keeps him involved, but not fully involved. That's just
Exactly, yeah.
that balance. I love it. It's very, very cool. So what's the future? What are you thinking? 5 years' time, you'll have 2 kids running around.
Yep.
What do you see here?
I think the really exciting thing for us here, so we've had this business now since 1996, and in that period, a big chunk of that, again, because the way Mum and Dad are, they're always thinking, how can we do things better? They moved away, I'll say, and built another property at Port Melbourne and grew that business. And like I said, that's where Ashley was for 10 years of that 13-year business life. And we've sold that about 20 months ago, so not quite 2 years on. But what it's allowed us to do in that time is really come back here at Lara and really reinvest and reinvigorate this property and make many plans for how we can improve. And again, we've been recognised with that wonderful customer service award from the Geelong Business Excellence Awards. But we're not, we always want to do better. We want to do more. We want to be absolute top of mind, the place to go for anyone needing their pets looked after in the region. So I guess 5 years down the track, we have some big renovations planned. I'd say half the facility today is as we bought it in 96. So we really want to, knock down, rebuild a lot of it and meet the market. So I think we have a really good gauge of what our clients want. When we first walked in, there was just a dog kennel. There was no variation. There was no features. There was nothing else. It was still a really good business with a really good reputation for service. But over that time, we've recognised that people want the TV, they want the air conditioning, they want the heated suites, they want the features. These dogs are part of the family, and as a
I know
all of our animals.
I know how people feel when they feed their dogs, being an ex-marketing director of a pet food company.
Oh, there you go.
And so a person comes in here, there's a certain amount of anxiety.
Absolutely.
So how do you treat that? How do you or talk to your client and they're really fretting about why am I leaving my pet pet here, and
My fur
what's going to
baby.
happen to it, and will it fret, and I'm going away on holiday, and I'm going to be worried about my animal.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
how do you respond to that?
And that is something that we see every single day.
Yeah.
So, again, just offering that point of difference from our competitors. So we do offer free overnight trials. So we understand that you don't know us. You don't know what this experience is like. Some people have never done boarding at all before. So come in, leave your dog with us. We can tell you how they've been, tell you what activities they might like. You get to meet the team. You get to see the facility. We can take you through for a tour, get some feedback on how they went before you go on holidays and before you hand over your money as well. So, we do give people a try before you buy. And then it's just, getting to know their pet, genuinely finding out their likes, their dislikes. All of these things are going to make our jobs easier if we know, they absolutely turn their nose up, especially the cats, because the cats can be quite fussy. They'll turn their nose up at one flavour but love another. So if we know, the more we know, the better it is for everyone.
I was going to ask, and I guess I will ask, have you had the pet guest from hell?
Oh, look, as like you with yourself, Bill, I think we've all got stories. When you've been in business for this long, it's usually not the animals. I'll say that.
Well, that's right. Where I was talking to a builder yesterday who Mark and I interviewed some time ago, and it's not the design or the construction, it's the client sometimes, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So, from a business end, people want to get in touch with you, is the website?
Yes, so our website is www.petscountryclub.au.
Yep. And you're located out at Lara,
We are indeed, yes.
Elko Road.
Elko Road. It used to be Elko Park, didn't it?
Yeah, so again, there's been a strong affinity with this location, as you mentioned, the history earlier. Alco Homestead was the estate that it was part of, and there is a big mansion on the hill. This was the original gatehouse to that property. However, we understand our market isn't that familiar with the area. We've got huge expansion in Geelong, new estates. We service all sorts of areas, lots of western suburbs of Melbourne, sometimes even further. So Alco as a word didn't really make sense to everybody, even though we are right across the road from Alco Park Equestrian Centre, and the Alco Golf Course is down the road, and it is, Alco Homestead. It made sense to move away from that word.
When did you rebrand? When did you...
Well, we've had a few rebrands over the years. When I came on board, I aligned our name with our Port Melbourne facility, and then once we sold that, we've then rebranded again to drop the hotel and the rest of it.
So pet-wise, you touched on at the beginning, dogs, cats.
Yeah. Rabbits,
guinea pigs.
Yes.
You get guinea pigs?
Yeah, we do have some guinea pigs. We have some ferrets that come and stay with us. Basically, if you can get the animal to us, then we will look after it. Not so much horses. We are on 5 acres here, but as an equestrian, I understand how fragile horses can be, and even with good fencing and good paddocks and stuff, they're a huge liability.
Do you get? I mean, I'm thinking strange things, but fish? Would people bring you their fish?
Fish are a little tricky because the water, the tank,
you've got and temperature and
exactly, and it's not so much once they're here; it's just the transport. In between. I think we might have done one fish over the years.
Okay.
I think probably our strangest client was a pot-bellied pig.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that was at our Port Melbourne facility. That was an apartment pig.
Of course.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
That's right. Well, what a great story. And you're quite right. See, this whole area out here is earmarked for residential development too.
Yeah, definitely.
And if we're not careful, we'll soon be joined up to Wyndham. That's the importance of this location. But I guess you take it for granted, but it is a really good location to get to.
Yeah.
And you're not encroaching on any next door residential either.
No.
Yeah, we're very lucky for
that's
the
right.
moment.
Because that
Yeah.
becomes an issue as the residential
Yeah.
creeps. Then they start complaining, oh, there's all these dogs we can hear. Well, hang on,
Noise,
we've been here 30 years.
Yeah, we're very lucky, like directly across the road being council land.
Yeah.
I think, hopefully they will hang on to that for many, many years to come.
Yep.
And then hopefully, at least this little pocket stays as rural living.
Well, you would have seen a few changes in this area since you moved in.
Yeah, definitely.
That's right.
So, Lauren, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Really interesting. I've enjoyed the chat. It's in a great location, great noise in the background, and a great journey. So your family should be very proud of where you've come from and what you're doing. And good luck in the future, and good luck with the new baby.
Thank you so much.
And well
for
done
having
on
me.
winning the awards.
Thank
Yes.
you.